When you're conducting research, you typically end up collecting a lot of data. And so you want a way to be able to make sense of those numbers quickly and to convey what you see in the numbers easily to others. And so that's where frequency distribution comes in. A frequency distribution gives you a chance to not simply just present all of your data in its raw form to another person, but instead it boils your data down to how often each value occurs in a data set. So this would be a very simple, straightforward definition for frequency distribution. Now, to highlight or to give an example of what I mean by this, I've got a picture here with the contents of a bag of M&Ms. And you can see that within the bag of M&Ms, there are some blue M&Ms, there are orange M&Ms, there's red in there, I believe that there's brown, and yellow, and green. But how much of each one? Well, it's hard to tell when I look at it like this. But what I would like to do is I'd like to create a frequency distribution giving how often each value occurs. So how often each one of these different colors or these different outcomes occurs. So that means that I need to create another column where I keep track of my frequencies, which I'm labeling here as F. So let me show you these reorganized and sorted out into their individual colors. Okay, so now I can see that I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blue M&Ms. And as far as the orange go, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 of those. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 red M&Ms. And there's only 3 brown ones. There's 1 yellow one. And finally, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green M&Ms. So that's it. This is a frequency distribution. Remember the definition. It says a frequency distribution tells us how often each value occurs in a data set. So we've got all of the different possible values and how much each one occurs, how many times we see each one of them come up in the data that we collected. But the only thing that I would need to add to my definition is that it's not always going to be individual values. Sometimes you're going to be dealing with groups of values, so I'll put that in here. How often each value or group of values occurs in a data set. You'll see this come up in some of my examples in some of the following videos. This happens more often when you have numerical values. Here what I'm doing is I'm recording the color of each M&M, but I might have done something different. Let's say I had asked people, how many times do you watch a YouTube video in the course of a week? And so there are people who watch from 0 to 10. Could be people who watch from 11 to 20 and so on. So you get the idea. So I could have a frequency distribution showing how often each group of values occurs in a data set. So this would be a group of values from 0 to 10. And so this could be that maybe 30 people in my survey said that they watch between 0 and 10, and 45 people say that they watch between 11 and 20. So that's what a frequency distribution is. This is what's called a frequency distribution table. And in my next video, I'm going to show you how to build one of these up from scratch when you are working with numerical data and what you can do with that.